PerspectiX.
Imagine unfolding a map right in front of you. Your eyes are naturally drawn to that massive white expanse at the very top, aren't they? Greenland. It just sits there, silent, pure white, and seemingly disconnected from the rest of the world. For most of us, it's just a land made of ice. A place we barely think about, except maybe when we hear a quick soundbite about global warming, and then we forget it exists. But what if I told you that silence is a lie? What if I told you that right now, as we speak, the world's greatest superpowers, America, China, and Russia, are playing a dangerous game of chess on top of those glaciers? And more importantly, the real story isn't about what's on the ice, but what lies beneath it. Today we're not just going to talk geography. Today we are going deep under the ice. We're going to look at the wildest projects of the Cold War, secret nuclear cities carved into glaciers, lost atomic bombs, and a $1 trillion treasure hunt. Why did Trump want to buy this place? Why has everyone's attention suddenly turned to this island? And what terrifying secrets of the past are rising to the surface as the ice melts? Grab your coffee, sit back, because the story of Greenland is much darker than you think. Let's go back to the beginning, to its name. Greenland. Seriously, who calls a place covered in 80% ice, where life is at a freezing point and grass only grows on the edges, a Greenland? This was probably history's first and biggest clickbait, the original real estate scam. Here's the story. Eric the Red, a Viking, gets exiled from Iceland for his crimes. He needs to find a new place to settle. He discovers this icy island. But he can't build a kingdom alone. He needs to attract settlers. Now, if he told people, "Hey, come join me, I found a frozen hellscape where the wind cuts your face," who would come? Nobody. So, he uses a bit of marketing genius and names it Greenland. People think, oh, greenery, we can farm, we can graze cattle, and hop on their boats. Can you imagine the look on their faces when they arrived? Nothing but endless whiteness. But by then it was too late. This place is truly massive. I don't want to drown you in numbers, but just to give you a mental image. We are talking about a place 3 times the size of Turkey, 6 times the size of Germany. Don't be fooled by those small depictions on standard maps. Those projections always trick us. Greenland is a true giant. So how many people live on this giant? 56,000. Yes, you heard that right. You couldn't even fully fill a football stadium with them. You can travel for miles and see no humans, not a single footprint. Just the howling of the wind. It is a solitude that is both mesmerizing and terrifying. Now, we get to the part where things take a turn. The part that actually gave me goosebumps while researching. The year is 1959, the peak of the Cold War. Everyone is living in fear of nuclear annihilation. The Americans come to Greenland and announce to the world, "We are going to build a scientific base here called Camp Century. We'll study the glaciers, conduct climate experiments." On the surface, everything looked normal. Snowcats, smiling scientists, laboratories. But it was all a massive lie. When classified documents were declassified years later, we learned that scientific research was just a mask. The real project's code name was Project Iceworm. The plan was absolute madness, to dig massive tunnels deep inside the Greenland ice sheet, and inside these tunnels, to deploy 600 nuclear missiles moving on a rail system. Why? Because Greenland offers a direct line to the Soviet Union. Push a button, and missiles would launch from the ice to strike Moscow. They built a fully functional city under the ice. It's hard to believe, but it's true. An underground city with a cinema, a church, a library, hot water, a barber shop, and even a portable nuclear reactor to power it all. Soldiers lived between those ice walls for months without seeing the sun. But there was one thing they didn't account for: nature. The glacier wasn't a static block of concrete like they thought. It was moving. It was alive. It started to crush and twist the tunnels. Ceilings began to collapse. The reactor was at risk. In 1967, the Americans realized you can't fight nature. So they said, let's pack up and leave. They abandoned the base. But they made a terrible mistake when they left. Assuming this place will stay frozen forever, the snow will cover everything. They buried tons of radioactive waste, chemicals, sewage, and biological waste under the ice and just left, like sweeping dirt under a rug. But now, that rug is being lifted. Greenland's icy past isn't limited to underground cities. Let's go forward 1 year, to 1968. This event is rarely talked about, but it's a moment when the world narrowly escaped a massive catastrophe. An American Air Force B-52 bomber is patrolling the skies over Greenland. Do you know what its payload was? 4 hydrogen bombs, weapons hundreds of times more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima. A malfunction occurs. A fire starts. The crew bails out, but the plane crashes onto the ice near Thule Air Base at terrifying speed. Upon impact, the conventional explosives detonate. Thankfully, there was no nuclear mushroom cloud, but deadly radiation scattered everywhere. Plutonium mixed with the ice, the snow, and the sea. Afterward, the Americans and Danes conducted a cleanup operation that lasted for months. Tons of radioactive ice were scraped up and shipped away. But here's the most mysterious and frightening part. Some researchers, people who worked there at the time, and locals have claimed for years that one of those 4 bombs, the 4th bomb, was never found. Codename Broken Arrow. Where is that bomb? Is it at the bottom of the ocean? Or is it still lurking deep within the ice? No one is 100% sure. Isn't it terrifying? Not knowing what lies beneath the ice you walk on? You might say, okay, that's all in the past. The Cold War is over. I wish that were true. Today, Greenland is even more valuable than it was back then. There are 2 reasons for this. First, global warming. As the ice melts, new sea lanes are opening up in the Arctic. Places that were once impassable ice are now becoming suitable for shipping traffic. This means a shift in world trade routes. Russia and China are desperate to control this new polar Silk Road. Second, and more importantly, treasure. Beneath the glaciers lie the materials the modern world hungers for the most. Rare earth elements, the smartphone in your pocket, the computer you're watching me on right now, the batteries of electric cars, the radar systems of advanced fighter jets, all of them depend on these minerals, and Greenland has plenty of them. Right now, China dominates this market. China wants to enter Greenland and mine these resources to maintain its power. And America says, I don't want China in my own backyard. You might remember when Donald Trump said, let's buy Greenland. Everyone laughed. It became a meme on social media. But from a geopolitical perspective, it wasn't a joke. It was a business-like way of saying, I can't lose that territory to my rivals. The Greenlanders, meanwhile, are trying to secure their own future amongst these giants. They want independence, but they are forced to align with whoever brings the money. Let's wrap this up. Greenland might look silent on the map, but in reality, right now, it is screaming. Glaciers melting due to climate change aren't just raising sea levels. Those toxic wastes buried at Camp Century in 1959, under the assumption they would stay frozen forever, are rising to the surface as the ice melts. Scientists are warning us. If that waste leaks into the ocean, it could poison the entire ecosystem. So the ghosts of the past are waking up along with the melting ice. On one side, nuclear waste, on the other, a trillion-dollar fight for minerals, and on top of that, an arm wrestling match between superpowers. I asked at the beginning of the video, why is this island so important? Because Greenland is like the planet's black box, and that box is now opening. While we sit in our warm homes, things are happening in that freezing northern silence that will affect the fate of the world. Maybe Greenland is trying to tell us something. Maybe nature is reminding us that no secret stays hidden forever, and that whatever we sweep under the ice will eventually come back to haunt us. What do you think? Thanks for watching. Making this video really opened my eyes, and I hope I was able to make you feel that atmosphere too. What are your thoughts? Should Greenland be independent, or will it remain a playground for great powers? Let's discuss in the comments. See you in the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed this video and want to be part of this journey, don't forget to subscribe PerspectiX.